razors, and I got banned from my gym.
No, you did not. Stop crapping.
On anything. I moved the bench over there, and the owner was with me the whole time.
You actually got banned.
Bro, I got banned.
There's no way you got
banned.
Bro, that's honestly a good thing. That means that you're not at that bad gym anymore, bro. What?
Bro, I'm gonna chill, bro.
But my gym trip allows me to do whatever, bro. I got your drag the bench to double cable stack to supination.
Cable stacks to train new supination, bro.
Yes, bro. Actually, I'm gonna post when I go. I'm about to go to the gym soon. I'm gonna post the method to just use one like double cable stack thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yo, they think you got to chill, bro.
How am I in the Mundypill because I want to train upper lower while I'm in an aggressive deficit?
Yo, man, I might have to do isometrics at home.
Good.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Go get the functional muscle.
Yo, we should find a way to make like a whole workout plan at home with isometrics.
I'm not gonna post, bro. No joke. Like, how isometrics are underrated if you have no equipment. Like, if you're on vacation or something.
Yeah,
like,
no key. No key.
If you really think about it, you could like use a doorknob and then just do like a pullover, but like have it in where the lats have leverage. Do that.
Yes. But how isometrics are underrated. I just find random isometrics, bro, that you can just do.
The doorknob, the door handle one that you did was pretty good.
The door frame, the lateral raise one,
and then you just hold it.
Bro, I am the first ever person to get banned for trying to do hypertrophy pill exercises.
Which one did you do that? You did the cable one, right? The cable one?
The cable one, yeah.
Bro, how? That's such a peak exercise. Why would they kick you off?
Bro,
that's a gym problem, not a yo tots problem,
all
bro.
that. Yo, you got to chill, bro, with the trolling.
Well, what?
You're burning bridges, bro.
Actually,
you gotta stop rage baiting, bro.
What did I do?
Bro,
the rage bait.
But you've been arguing with Deklan.
Bro,
Deklan sucks. He's genuine, bro. I don't even know if I can say this on live, bro. But like, dude, he's been hating on me since like December, bro.
I don't like the dude. I remember
I'm gonna post a video today, dude, because like he's actually he finds any like way to hate on me, bro.
One time in a comment section, somebody was like, W Dro. He was like, who the hell is that in the comments? I'm like, what the fuck?
What did he say? What?
So it was the hypertrophy pill edit with all of us. And he was like, somebody was like, Dro doesn't even deserve to be there or something like that. He was like, who the hell is Dro? I'm like, you saw me in that edit. I know you've seen my content. You're just trying to act cool, bro.
Bro.
It's
like every other week. Bro. It's like every other week, bro. You're beefing with Mundy, bro.
But Mundy deserves it, bro. Mundy, Dxklan, all of these people, bro, they're useless content creators. They provide nothing in this space, dude. They have no original takes that are actually good, bro.
Bro.
Legit. Like, I literally just hate watch, bro. I hate watch. I hate watch, bro.
I'll tell you, bro. They're gonna build a hypertrophy Avengers group, and they're gonna like evaporate you, bro. They're gonna get you off the internet.
Yo talks, bro. I'm yo talks #1, bro. I got banned. For yo talks.
It's Mundy.
You know what, Matt
he's actually here,
bro. He literally got banned. Even though he tried to vote supinations, you know, he got banned for me, bro.
I'm telling you, bro, they're going to try to gang up on you, bro.
Bro, you gotta chill with the rage bait, bro.
They're gonna gang up on you, yo.
They tried to stop me, bro. They tried to get me banned, bro. They tried to get me banned. I was gone for 3 weeks, but I'm still back, dude, and I'm back and better, bro.
Bro.
Don't stop me.
Yo is like the.
Yo,
what the fuck are you, bro?
Mundy, I just want to say anything that Yo is doing is not affiliated with me or Trell Bankston. This is.
Yeah,
just
bro.
Want to say that.
It's 100% affiliated.
Nah, everybody's in on this too. Everybody's in on this.
God put me in this, bro.
I'm telling you, you gotta stop trolling them, bro.
Nah, bro. Hey, Mundy's in here, bro.
Mundy,
you curl your roads, buddy. You reverse curl your roads, buddy.
I'm partial, bro. Look.
That can't be the real Mundy.
Look, Deklan insulted me, but everybody else were cool.
Bro, Deklan said so much stuff, dude. He's like, I need to pull up the receipts, bro. I'm gonna make a video today.
That is the real Mundy. That's the real Mundy.
You gotta chill.
Yo, Mundy got summoned, bro.
That's a real Mundy.
Mundy is not in here.
Bro, there's
Mundy was crashing out,
If
bro.
you in here, bro, I'm telling yo to stop rage baiting you, brother.
Yo does not rage bait, bro.
He does.
But I don't rage bait, bro.
Yo, you got to chill with the rage baiting, bro.
Bro, how do I rage bait?
Bro,
Bro, it's like every other week you try to beef with them, bro.
Nah, bro, how? What did I do? Bro, I just made a couple of troll videos reacting to Mundy's YouTube.
You got to chill.
Oh,
I don't take him serious.
Shout out to Elijah Mundy.
You don't take me serious? Yes, you do, bro. You made like 7 stories on me, dude. You were crashing out.
Mundy, you should come
Elijah
here.
Mundy blocked me as well because
we can mediate,
bro.
We can mediate.
Nah, no mediation.
Bro, we're just talking about training. It's just training, bro. At the end of the day, there shouldn't be no beef over training.
Bro. It's personal now, buddy. It's personal now.
It's personal?
Yes.
Look at the T-bar row.
Yep.
Yesterday,
Yo.
me and Trell were laughing about how that guy told Keenan to humble himself over a preacher crow. It's not that serious, bro. It's never that serious.
You got to chill, bro. It's just training at the end of the day, y'all.
Nah, but yo talks is him.
Bro's here.
I'm saying all this because like a fucking.
It's just training, bro.
Just the preacher crow, bro. Never that serious.
Mundy's here, bro. Mundy's here.
It's just training.
Buddy.
It's just training.
You have to say.
This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Training. It's literally training, ain't it? That's
What do you have to say?
It's yo and Mundy. Y'all gotta squash the beef.
It's just training.
It's just training, bro. I'm finna run with that one, bro. It's just training, bro.
Just training.
Bro, that's all it is.
Training.
Wow. That's crazy. What is the beef, bro? I've been ignoring you for like months. What's up?
Bro, bro, what beef, bro? What do you mean beef?
What's the beef, bro? What's up, bro? You've been trying to rage bait. What's up?
Bro, how do I rage bait?
Oh, okay. Well,
How do I rage bait, bro?
it's just training, bro. Just fix your rows. No big deal. We'll move.
Bro, I didn't. Dude, I said I was gonna re-record. Listen, there was a bit of elbow flexion, but I said I was gonna re-record. But what I said about you, bro, you literally had the same thing with your rows. The bar path forces that, dude. You literally had the same thing. I literally told that, and I put the lines to show that too.
Problem with my rows? No way.
What?
There's no way.
Yes, dude. You literally had the same thing,
Wait,
bro.
okay,
There's no way you genuinely think there's a problem with my rows.
Bro, I'm not saying there's a problem. I'm saying that you are literally throwing stones from a glass house by saying that I have quite a bit of elbow flexion, dude. You literally had the same thing in your rows, dude.
Wow.
Literally the exact same thing. I literally put the lines there too, dude.
That's insane. Well,
Yes, bro. It is insane because you're literally throwing stones from a glass house.
got it. What are we in here talking about, though, bro? What's up?
We're just chatting, bro. Just chatting
It's one
about.
more-
It's just training, bro. It's just training. What's the next train topic?
Literally, the only thing I said, I was telling Yo. Well, me and Dro was talking first about Yo, and we were saying that he needs to chill out on the rage baiting because he's gonna burn. He's gonna burn a lot of fucking bridges. He's gonna burn a lot of bridges.
It's for views, man. Let them do it.
Bro,
I've learned that
I need to know what videos you're talking about that are rage bait,
The
bro.
thing I think is that the Kelso after the row take is low key bad because I only got one when I did a T-bar row.
Oh, ain't that something?
I only got one. I only got one. So,
Post the video, bro. Cap.
it was on live.
I don't see it.
I'm gonna download the live. I'm gonna post it. I only got one Kelso after I rode.
But regardless,
I just need y'all to understand.
This is just one
Understand
experiment
that
I
being
did.
able to do a bunch of shrugs after a row is not a flex, bro.
Bro, I'm not saying it's a flex. I'm just saying that it was just one experiment to prove my point.
You didn't have a point.
Your rear delts are a limiter. There's no like, that your rear delts are a limiter on rows. A horizontal abduction exercise is going to be
Don't land him.
horizontal
Don't land him.
abduction, dude.
That's just cope, bro. All of that is cope. You never had a point.
Bro, you're just saying cope. The real cope is that you just don't want to admit that it may not be the best thing, dude.
Just accept the form is bad and move on, bro. It's all good. No big deal.
Bro, you just be hitting the same thing, dude.
Yo, crashing out. Okay, yo, you should cut your camera on, and then I'm gonna pin you both.
That's crazy. Man, he talking about how mad I be all the time. He's literally in here crashing out. I'm just laughing. That's crazy.
Bro,
guys, come on. Yo, talk to this.
This is just
okay. What else? What else have you guys?
I always be laughing on my end. Y'all just don't know it.
Bro, stop acting nonchalant, bro. Like I said yesterday in the video, bro, you're chalant, bro.
Yeah, I know. You watch my YouTube. You watch my YouTube videos like a fan. Understandable.
Yes, bro. Because I'm not all right, bro. It was a hate watch.
Yes,
not a hate watch. I'm not being mean. All right, it was not a hate watch, but it was. I was just trolling. You know, I was joking around in my video, bro.
When are Yo and Dro gonna make some progress?
It makes funny content.
What I do, bro?
Understandable. Do what you got to do for your content, man.
Bro, you don't want me to react to your videos? There's something wrong with it?
No. Do what you got to do for content. I ain't mad at it.
Bro, it wasn't even, bro. Come on. It was a joke, bro. Bro, you know, like the jokes I made. I didn't even say anything bad in the videos.
I feel like right.
Why do you think I'm tripping?
Agree to disagree. Because obviously, you know,
bro.
Instances when people did Kelsos, when people did rows and got a Kelso after, and they didn't. You know, maybe it's the form. I don't know.
Yes, it's the form. I've been saying it for months. Y'all just don't listen.
Bro, and no, this is not the form. Dude, the form thing.
Your form is atrocious.
Is getting too far, bro.
Your form is atrocious.
Saying that is form is literal cope, dude.
Your form is atrocious,
bro. All right, tell me what's wrong with it. And it's literally the exact same thing that happens in your road.
You know the form is bad, bro. The form is terrible.
Did you show what I?
Bro, the things that he critiqued are the same things that are in his, bro. Like I said, I'm gonna re-record today, dude.
Bro, yo, you were barely like retracting your scapula, bro.
Bro, was it just staying still?
You were gripping.
Was it just staying still? My scapula was just staying still. Was my scapula just staying still, bro?
Reverse tricep press, bro.
Bro,
reverse curling.
This is cope, dude. This is cope. This is cope.
Reverse curls. Break your radialis and gains.
You're going after Yo. I'm not going after Yo. I'm just telling him that the form was bad.
Bro, the same, dude. Like I said, the row forces that arm path, and like I said, I'm gonna use the lower handles when I record again,
it just
and I'm gonna use a better angle.
Bro, that's all.
You literally see the same thing in Mundy's rows, the same thing in Deklan rows, dude. You see it, bro, with your own eyes.
Why don't we should, you know what we could all do? We could all just do a T-bar row and then just see how many Kelsos we get after.
I just think you need a coach, bro. That's all.
A lower grip is.
All right, bro. This guy's just repeating. He's going in circles, dude. He's short circuiting, bro. He's short circuiting.
I just think you need a coach, man. That's all. No biggie.
A coach, bro. I don't, bro. For what? You think you want me to hire you, bro?
You don't have to hire me. I just think you need a coach.
Yo, this is right.
I just said you need a coach. You don't gotta hire me.
Okay, what else have you guys been disagreeing on these past few months?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Yo, you have the opportunity to talk to him right here, and you guys can squash the beef, and we can stop.
Whoa. There's no beef.
Okay, yeah.
If he's mad, that's on him. There's no beef. I've been laughing.
Disagreements. We're just gonna call it disagreements.
All right.
Just disagreements you have. So, yo,
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Just a talking stick.
What do you got, man? What are you disagreeing with, bro?
Bro.
Mundy's so nonchalant, man. Honestly.
Yo, somebody. Oh, I don't have the screen recorder. I could just download it.
No disagreement.
Now we got Yo and Elijah in the same stream. That's what I'm saying. I want them to squash the beef. We can squash the disagreements. We can all be friends now.
Nah, bro. This guy, bro. This guy started it, dude. Back in the whole fiber debate, bro. This guy was being. Bro, why this guy keep laughing, bro? Enough with this laughing, bro. Enough with this laughing, bro. Yo, raging and losing.
Nothing's funny.
What's funny,
bro? I don't understand, bro. I literally laugh at y'all all day, and they be thinking I'm mad about all this.
You're not nonchalant, bro.
This is so crazy. Wow, I'm actually on a call with bro right now. That's crazy. What is it that you want to talk about, bro?
Bro, what do you mean? What do I want to talk about, bro? I'm not prepared, dude. Like, what do you want to talk about, dude? You're alive,
bro. Bro is Batman. He's Batman. Oh, he needs prep time, guys. Don't worry about it.
What, bro? All right, what do you want to talk? You're the one who joined the live when I was in. So how about this? What do you want to talk about? I didn't even know you were coming in, bro.
I didn't know either.
Yes, you did, bro. I was in the live.
I have the fiber topic about the lats. The fiber topic about the lats.
Bro. What do you both have to say about that? Bro, all right. So what about it, dude?
What do we like?
You're the one who's been disagreeing with him the whole time.
Well, I'm the one who started it. They're the one who's disagreeing with me.
I'm confused as to how, because you end up on the same page. Like I've said, it doesn't matter what you do. You can either train in the same session, you can alternate them, or train one for a certain period of time and train another one for a certain period of time.
All right.
What are we arguing about?
The thing, that last thing that you did makes more sense than doing than alternating them in upper lower. The last thing that you made sense makes more sense because like let's say for example you did upper lower, right? You did a lat row on one and you did a lat pull on the other one, right? And there's going to be specific fibers that are only if we're taking the argument that you can bias lat regions, right? Why you're literally getting bro split frequency for those fibers that are only recruited in one of those exercises. That's bro split frequency. And unless you're doing literally over 3 to 4 sets, because 3 to 4 sets is maintenance, unless you're doing over 3 to 4 sets, it's literally doing nothing. You're better off to just do the same thing both times, bro.
So are you assuming people are doing one set for lats each session? Each session?
I just explained to you that you would literally need to do over 3 to 4 sets.
Okay, but my thing is, people are doing 2 to 3 sets of lats in a session. So
that's not enough for growth for those fibers. 3 to 4 sets is maintenance. Over that would be growth.
Okay, so how many fibers are we arguing about here?
I'm not arguing about how many fibers. That's never the argument. I've never claimed how many fibers there's going to be.
That's the thing. So we're taking these hypotheticals, and it's like, bro, we're not even going to see
hypotheticals. What do you mean hypotheticals? It's just
you're not going to see any kind of
hypothetical. What's hypothetical?
That's the thing. You're not going to see any kind of difference with this if you alternate.
All right. So you're making a claim right now. My claim is that there's going to be a difference. I'm not saying how much. You're saying that there's not going to be a difference.
You're only saying that because of this fiber specific thing you're talking about. That's the only reason you're saying that.
What? What?
That's the only reason you're saying that is because the fiber specific. That's the only reason you're saying that.
The only reason I'm saying what?
That you can't alternate them with the upper lower, and that you're going to have.
That's the whole point. Is that it's just not efficient at all.
That's an insane stretch, though, dude.
What's a stretch?
And I think a lot of y'all take these too far because y'all are just still young, and that's understandable. That's why.
What's a stretch, dude? You're not saying anything. You're just saying, "All right, man, that's a stretch." Bro, this and that.
Okay, so let me ask you: do you really think there's going to be a difference in growth if you alternated between sessions, or are you stuck to one?
Yes. Okay. Are you saying that unless you're going to say that you're recruiting the same fibers in both of those exercises, if you're taking the stance that you can bias regions, then there's going to be, I'm not saying how much of a difference that's going to make. That's not my argument. You're the one that's making the argument that there's not going to be a difference. I'm not saying how much of a difference it's going to make.
If it's not going to be significant enough, there's no point in arguing.
All right, so you're making the claim that it's just not going to be a significant making the claim that you don't think that there's going to be a difference.
You're not going to notice it by looking at it, and you're not going to notice it clinically.
All right, so that's a claim that you're making. I'm not saying how much of a difference it's going to make. I'm just saying that there is going to be a difference. It could be one fiber, it could be a million fibers.
That makes no sense.
What?
That makes no sense. What's the point of arguing that?
It's just way more, bro. It makes things simpler and it makes things way more efficient. Why would I It's not even just about the lats. It's literally just about not changing up your exercises too significantly across the week, bro.
That's not changing it significantly when the entire lats do both of those functions. That's not changing it up significantly.
Bro, if you're taking the stance that you can bias lat regions, there's going to be muscle fibers.
Based on that EMG,
you're literally removing any point in biasing regions. If you're taking the stance of biasing regions, you're removing any you're not biasing anything at that point.
Both regions, well, really all the regions do the exact same thing. It's not like
you're going in circles, dude.
How? I've been talking to you straight.
You're just doing the same thing.
Is anybody not understanding me?
I'm saying I'm not. You're just saying.
Is anybody not understanding me besides Joe?
I'm
What?
listening. I'm listening. I'm hearing both arguments.
Does anybody else not understand what I'm saying?
You keep
asking.
circling, bro.
I'm asking, is anybody else not understanding me at all?
I think we all. I mean, you have to think about this. The lats function in both movements is to pull the arm to the body.
All right, but if
So
we're
I'm
taking
asking,
the stance that you
why are
can
we
bias
really taking
regions,
a difference
if we're taking the
So
stance
why
that you can bias regions,
different
that means that one region has better leverage in one exercise than the other.
Okay, but the thing is, you're saying you're not arguing that there's not going to be a significant difference. You said
I'm not arguing I'm not arguing how much of a difference. I've said this so many times in all of my videos.
The thing is, there's no point of arguing that then.
Let's keen in.
All right, so now you're saying that there's just not a point in arguing. You're not. So that's
Keenan
your
is in
argument.
here?
Yeah, let Keenan in.
Keenan's
Oh
not,
my God, let Keenan in here, bro.
Keenan's not in here. I think he's busy.
Oh.
I can tell him to join.
I'm literally texting him right now
I
about the live stream.
I gotta get my laptop. Text my Discord.
Yeah, tell my guy to join up, man. But no, from a practical application standpoint, I don't find it worth arguing about, though. That's where I stand. I get that you want to, hey, fiber specific, cool, but it's really not worth
All right. So listen, if you think that you can bias regions, do you think that there's going to be a difference, any sort of difference? Like it could be one fiber to 1,000.
Region in general, or are we speaking specifically for lats?
Just that there's a difference. It's just a difference in lats, whatever. Like it just biasing like doing an exercise that biases one region on one day. And another exercise that biases another region on the other day. So there's going to be muscle fibers that are recruited in one and not in the other.
Are we speaking about lats right now?
Anything.
Well, then we can't speak of anything because everything isn't really the same.
I'm saying that if you're doing an exercise on one day that biases a region, right? So there's and another exercise on the other day that biases another region. So there's going to be whatever amount of fibers. That's not the point.
So then that would mean you're making the lats equivalent to the pecs, and how the clavicular pecs would end up doing flexion versus the costal pecs doing extension. That's not even remotely close to the same, but they're different regions, correct?
Bro, what are you talking? I'm saying I'm not talking about I'm not talking about. I'm just saying in general, just biasing regions. I'm like lats. It could be lats, triceps, anything. Do you think that will there be any sort of difference?
Dude, of course. What do you mean?
All right. So that's it. That's what I'm saying.
You're still not even listening because the pecs and the lats are not even remotely close to the same.
Why?
Again,
even Chris Bhris on his story said that if you think that there's any point in like with the deltoids regions, the lats really have a greater difference in leverage than the deltoids. So if you think that there's any point in biasing deltoid regions, then you'd have to say the same thing about the lats.
Dude, again, with the lats, there's not going to be a significant enough difference to make a big deal. This is not like clavicular pec. Are you listening?
It's just looping, dude.
You're not listening. That's the thing. Oh, well.
Bro, I'm listening. You just keep saying the same thing.
No, because your only argument is, oh, hey, is there going to be a difference because there's regions? That's your only argument.
Bro, yes, dude. Dude, I'm asking you if there's a difference.
There's no point in arguing because from the very start, when we first started this entire thing, I said there wouldn't be a significant difference.
Bro,
I never said there wouldn't be a difference.
I'm not making the claim of whether there's going to be a difference or not. That's a claim that you're making on your own.
Because even if it's this much of a difference, bro, if it's this much of a difference, why are we arguing about this?
Where are you getting that's going to be this much of a difference?
Is there going to be a significant difference or not? That's what I'm asking.
I'm not saying how much of a difference. I've said this so many times. I'm not saying how much of a difference that there's going to be.
What are we talking about?
I'm saying that there's going to be a difference. I keep saying this, bro. I keep repeating myself.
So again, we can argue about this, then cool. There's no point in really arguing.
I'm not, bro. You're the one that's making a claim that it's going to be this.
But you can't show anything that there's going to be a significant difference. That's the problem.
You straight can't show anything that there's going to be a hair of a difference.
Because I've yet to see it in all my years of training.
All right. So now we're going back to anecdotal, bro.
I've yet to see it. So what are you talking about?
All right. So now you want to go back to anecdotal, dude. I'm saying that there's going to be a difference.
Great. I'm saying there's not going to be a significant difference. We're not talking about anything, dude.
All right. So your claim that it's not going to be a significant difference is not based off of anything. You're just bringing the number of it's going to be one hair of a difference. Oh, it's going to be this much of a difference.
Okay. So what is your claim that's going to make it a large difference?
I'm saying that I'm not saying that there's going to be a large or small difference. I keep saying this, dude.
Do we have mediators in here or what?
Okay. Let me interject.
Mediators, because apparently he's not listening to nothing.
I keep saying the same thing, bro.
You're just saying that there's gonna be no like huge difference, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, yes. What are we talking about then? All he's saying is there's going to be a difference.
No, that's what he's saying.
My days, bro. I'm saying that he's bringing the.
Yo is saying even if there isn't a difference, that there will be maybe a slight difference, but you're saying that there's no significant difference, so it's not worth worrying about. Is that not relevant? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing from both sides.
Oh my days, dude.
I mean, look, nobody's wrong then. Nobody's wrong. Mundy's just saying.
Why I don't get
Mundy is getting the claim that it's going to be a hair of a difference or this and that of a difference from literally nothing, dude. These numbers out of his bunda, dude.
That huge. I mean, Jackson and Ella have been saying this too. Everybody's been saying, from what I see from both arguments, everybody's saying that you can't bias the regions. It's not going to make that a clinical difference. So you're
I said from the start, if you want to alternate them, so what? If you do them in the same session, so what?
It's just worse if you alternate them.
How? You can't prove that.
Bro, I have explained myself so many times, dude. If you can,
bro, you're explaining this.
I'm literally circling, dude.
That's not how that works.
I'm straight up circling, bro. You've said it yourself that there would be a difference. You're just saying that you're just making up a claim.
It's not significant enough, bro, at all. Not even close.
You said that there's going to be a difference. You just said it's going to be a tiny difference. You said that there's still a difference, though.
Brother, do you speak
Yeah, but he's saying, bro, he's saying that the difference isn't that significant for anybody to worry about.
Yeah, but I'm saying that he's getting that number out of his bunda, dude.
When we talk about non-significant differences,
you made the claim that you had to.
Wait. Everybody talk one at a time. Can we all have a chance to talk? Jesus Christ.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you. My fault.
No. Like you and Dro were talking.
No, yeah, my bad. I'm saying that, the burden of proof is on you. You made the claim. Now you have to prove that there would be a difference.
Bro, the burden of proof is on Mundy for saying that there's going to be a hair of a difference or this of a difference. I'm not the one that's making a claim of how much of a difference there's going to be, dude.
So,
bro, the whole argument is that there's going to be a difference if it's not significant or not. Like, that's the argument. The argument is there a difference in biasing regions, and will it be clinically significant?
Bro,
it wouldn't. He's just arguing that there's going to be a difference, so you should fight for it. Fight for your difference.
It's just ways, bro. Why would I want to like? It makes it more complicated, if anything, dude.
How? Just to alternate?
How? Why would you switch things up when you can keep things the same? That's the most simple things that you can do.
Then
how is that not like? Why would I want to do upper A, upper B, upper C when I could just do upper A twice a week, dude? How is that not more simple?
Bro, that's fine. Do it. Nobody said you couldn't.
All right, so that's more simple, right?
Bro, how is alternating not simple?
Which one is more simple? Because that's another claim that you've made. It's like you're overcomplicating this and that. I feel like it's quite simple.
How is alternating complicated?
I'm not saying that's complicated. I'm saying that you said that what I'm saying is complicated when I'm just saying, just do an upper A. Just repeat the same upper A. I'm just saying, how is that not more simple than what you're saying with alternating?
Bro. I'm so confused how you can really think that
you're confused now, buddy.
Alternating.
Bro, just having it in the blast, dude. I mean, I wish we had. Get in here,
bro. I have to go to the gym pretty soon, bro.
We're not ganging up on you, bro. This is just.
I'm just confused. Why are we? What is this?
I have to be like a mediator. I have to be impartial. I can't be biased to either side. So I have to.
Hey,
Bro, I genuinely have to go to the gym pretty soon, bro. I was drinking my Monster, getting ready, dude. I didn't know that this was gonna end up being a debate.
I mean, it's not even a debate. Y'all are just having a conversation.
Bro, look.
debating. I'm just asking questions, bro.
Bro, I mean, it has become a debate. I mean, we're like, you came in and then you wanted to debate
about anything. You're just telling me there's going to be a difference, and I said there's not going to be a significant difference.
All right, but you're still saying that there's going to be a difference.
I'm waiting to see.
And then you're making the claim that it's just going to be a small difference, bro.
I'm waiting to see this. So can I ask y'all?
I'm not saying how much of a difference it's going to make. I've never said that. I've repeated that so many times.
Ask this. Do we or do we not say there's no significant difference between 0 to 2 reps in reserve?
Bro,
yeah.
So how is this confusing?
Okay.
Oh, hold the phone. I need to get on.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
You heard me?
Yes.
If we say there's no significant difference between 0 to 2 reps in reserve, how is this complicated here?
All right, so if you want to, all right, bro. Listen, then you also have to say that high and low reps are not going to be a significant difference. It's different volumes, not going to be a significant difference, et cetera, bro.
We have a round.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how you take the reps, it's not going to be that big.
All right, but then you have to say the same thing about what's it called? High reps and low reps and high volumes, low volumes, many things, dude.
But dude, that varies. All of that varies.
It varies, dude.
But what you have to understand, I'm watching a lot of you guys doing like single arm sagittal. Okay.
What?
All of y'all are doing single arm sagittal stuff.
What are we talking about? Single arm sagittal stuff, dude.
4 or 5 reps, and we're acting like there's going to be a significant difference for your lats. This is actually what.
Bro, I'm saying that there's going to be a difference. You're saying that and then you're making the claim that's going to be a small difference. Okay. I'm asking you, how are you gonna where are you getting that's gonna be one hair of a difference?
Let's give Keenan up here. Come on, get Keenan up here.
So this just comes back to the same thing. What's the point of saying there's no significant difference between 0 to 2 reps in reserve? You might as well.
If you want to say this, if you want to go outcome based like that, then you also have to say the same thing about high reps and low reps and high volumes, low volumes, etc.
You're picking and choosing.
What do you mean? I'm confused about that logic.
What?
You're picking and choosing.
How am I picking and choosing? That's what, bro. You're picking and choosing, dude. Because you make many claims about use low reps. Low reps are way better and low volume is way better. When I mean in outcomes,
everything is similar.
They show like similar gains.
No.
Well, it's not just gains.
Just that.
It's also
the methods that are used for high volume and low volume studies are dog shit.
Yeah. Well,
so you can't make the same conclusion between those two statements.
Well, also higher reps.
Why can't you say the same thing about 0 to 2 reps in reserve? I mean,
we say 0 to 2 reps in reserve is similar.
That 0 reps would have more gains, right?
No, we would just say it like slightly, but it's not enough that I would be like, oh, you have to train to failure.
There's a difference between.
Then the thing is, y'all are doing more than one set.
Yeah.
What is doing more than one set?
But also one thing I will say about higher reps. Higher reps, you also have other issues along with it. It's not just gains. It's also there's crazy amounts of velocity loss differences. There's other things that we can actually quantify in terms of differences. So, I don't know. I feel like that's not really a one-to-one comparison.
It's also.
I'm just saying that if you want to go outcome based like that, then you have to. Then it's the same thing with 0 to 2 reps in reserve. You have to say the same thing about the other things too.
It's not, but it's not pure outcome based. We're also just being overall evidence. So it's not just outcomes. It's also mechanisms and outcomes. It's not. You can't just argue only a mechanism and then have zero data to back it up. That's the issue with that. So you have to have some outcome.
Also, it should be mentioned that the actual fatigue that is related between 0 and 2 reps in reserve is going to be very different when you're comparing 0 to 2 reps in reserve to 5 to 6 reps in reserve.
Kind of caffeine, bro.
That's very different. It's more drastic of a difference.
Wait, where's Keenan, bro? Oh man, he's supinating.
Jim.
I guess we're just arguing if there's going to be a difference, and we want to just maximize that difference. That's pretty much where we're at, guys.
I'm gonna be honest. I think maximizing I think people get the terminology confused, thinking you have to do every last thing to maximize growth for every single muscle, and I think that's where a lot of the confusion lies, where it's like you have to do 80,000 million variations of exercises to like bring up your chest. Or
that's not really the argument, dude.
I'm not saying that's your argument. I'm saying that's the problem that a lot of the community is misinterpreting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the issue.
I mean, I feel like a lot of it has caused like people who just got in the gym to start maximizing everything when they don't need to. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just know that the argument was brought up was like, oh, hey, if we can say that we can bias regions, then wouldn't there be a difference? And I'm like, that's like, okay, so if we're talking about the lats, and then are we comparing that to the clavicular and the costal pecs? Like that, all of that just varies.
Wait. So how about this? With the upper, with biasing pec regions, would you say that there would be a difference? With what?
Yes, so the reason why we say that there's a difference is because the upper region of the pec crosses and has a very major influence on the acromioclavicular joint and the sternoclavicular joint. It's very different when you're considering that compared to the lats, which barely even attach to the scapula and barely have an influence on the scapulothoracic and the acromioclavicular and the other scapular joints that kind of connect that whole entire shoulder girdle. So the reason why we say that it's non-significantly different is because of that, and because of the major insertion point, which is on the humerus, and it's not really, there's no significant differences between those types of movements. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why we're comparing everything is the regions and they're all not the same. That's
my question was, since you think that there's, I guess you listen. I'm not trying to strawman you. But you think that there's going to be a difference. But you said a small difference.
I said there's not a significant difference. That's what I said.
All right, but you said that it's a difference but a small difference. How about with the pecs?
Well, here's the other thing. One question I would have.
Don't do the same thing as the costal pecs. One is flexion, one is going to be extension. That's not even close.
Yeah, well, also my other question is, when you look at like the lats in terms of saying it's non-significant, the issue with like non-significant differences is you have no idea whether or not the difference was due to some other variable like background noise. You just know that there's a number difference, and that's the reason we get statistical significant differences, is to eliminate any possibility of any interaction or crossovers or anything like that.
That's not entirely true. So with EMG data, it's really finicky. The reason why we use a lot of isometrics is because there is so much background noise. You're literally getting the off chance signal from the muscle because it's all surface. We don't do a lot of we do a lot of surface EMG where you have a little electrode, and that kind of measures like the off chance signal. So there is a lot of other muscles involved that can kind of play a role in, I guess, interfering on the signal. That's the reason why larger muscles like the lats, they're better measured with isometrics rather than isokinetics. That being said, if you combine the isokinetic data and the isometric data, you get to the conclusion that there isn't a significant difference between activation of the upper and lower lat, between arm abduction and shoulder extension, because another reason is that this from here, or can you turn the camera?
Yeah. Don't listen to
I think bro is trying to go to the gym.
I'm in, bro.
Bro is trying to go to the gym.
Arm from here to here, not really shoulder extension, it's more so the arm from here to here, which is shoulder extension. That is like the primary muscle action of shoulder extension.
Wait,
adduction is literally just adding your arm to your body. That's like the main idea of what the arm adduction is.
All right, listen, I'm not even trying to be mean, but like this, like it's not what I'm like trying to ask. I'm asking, since Mundy thinks that alternating, for example, having a lat roll on one day and a lat pull down on the other day is not a significant difference, would for example, doing a flat fly and doing an incline fly, a flat fly on the first day and an incline fly on the second day, would that be a not good idea?
You're talking about two different muscles.
It's not the same.
So,
what do you mean it's not the same?
Dro.
Not the same. Wait.
Wait.
Lock in. That's not.
Hold on. It's. Are we not training the major muscle actions each session? Right. It's like when we're saying like the upper pec fly, are you just doing pure shoulder flexion, or are you having some horizontal adduction as well? Because if you're doing all the major actions, then I don't see the major problem with that. Unless it's something that you really, really want to bring up. Like, let's say it is your upper pecs and you really want to bring them up. Sure, maybe doing like a upper pec fly both days would be better. But like, we're arguing about like tiny, minute things right now. I want to make sure that we're also like, when we're saying upper pec fly, are we really just saying shoulder flexion on its own?
Jackson, if you're doing pure shoulder flexion, you definitely should have a transverse movement. But if you're gonna do like you could do a movement that's gonna like target both regions pretty well. But I think, especially for an upper lower, I just want to go back to what Mundy was saying. If you're on upper lower and you're doing a set of like, if you're doing only shoulder extension every 3 days, you can get away with alternating because you're gonna get one to two sets is gonna be enough for growth. But alternating on upper lower probably isn't the move. But if you're doing full body every other day, I think doing a sagittal and a frontal alternating will be fine.
I agree.
I still am in the camp that there is an ability to bias. I agree that it's probably small, especially much smaller than like upper pec to mid pec. I agree it's gonna be much smaller than that. But if you're doing alternating on full body, that's fine. Alternating on upper lower, I don't see a reason to not train both. So I think it's irrelevant.
That's
you
what
should
I'm
just
saying.
train both on upper lower no matter what.
Well,
Yeah.
I think one thing I just want to ask is, like, when you're saying alternate, let's say like you already have a row where you're doing shoulder extension, right? And
I agree. If you're gonna do an upper back row with your arm at like 45, then you totally could ignore a sagittal and just do a frontal, and you'll probably get unless you're super advanced, that would be perfectly fine.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you train the major actions, I think you can argue like whether or not you need like abduction and extension, like shoulder extension, because the rear delts are, I mean, there's not much of a difference with rear delts there. But like realistically, as long as you're training the major actions, I don't really see an issue with alternating. As long as those actions get trained and you're not like ignoring things.
All right. How about with the press versus a fly? Press on one day, and upper lower, and then a fly on the other days. Because with press, you're going to there's going to be you're adding the triceps too. It's going to be less motor unit committed to pecs, right?
Once again, are you training shoulder flexion and anything else? Do you have any shoulder flexion other exercises on top of that, or are you just not training shoulder flexion at all? Because once again, if you train the major actions, if you're doing a fly, maybe you have something else where you do shoulder flexion.
Also, it should
I
be
don't think that's a good argument right there, man.
like different
Well, not your
exercises.
reflection, but the chest versus the fly versus press. I don't think that's a great argument.
Like, so that's why I'm saying like you can program differently. Like, you don't have to do both because you can do shoulder flexion with something else. That's why I'm saying like it's not that like you have to like replace it as a 1-to-1. You just have to train that other action somewhere else, and you can do it with compound.
Sorry. So Jackson, I think his point here is that because you're going to get higher motor recruitment on the fly, you're going to be missing out fibers when you alternate with the press. And I agree that you'll probably be missing out on some fibers, but I also am of the camp that you can get away with it, especially, I mean, if you're super advanced, you probably want to stick to the same exercise.
Well, it's also depending on
priorities. Say there's a significant difference, it's going to be hard sell.
It's also priorities.
Y'all are taking that way.
It's priorities.
Wait, it's all just priorities as well. Like,
yeah,
do you
100%
want
priority.
upper pec? So like, if you're also just saying like, because if you make a black and white statement that you can't alternate, then it's like you're confusing everyone to think that you can never just have a fly and a press, because then you can 100% program shoulder flexion.
I 100% agree that you can alternate.
Wait, I just wanted to mention something. I think we're all forgetting that muscles, they work together to produce movement. So like if you're doing, let's say, a shoulder press, that's going to work a lot of the similar muscles as, let's say, an incline press.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying.
So
I
that's
agree.
also
As long as the
another
actions,
thing. Like, the actual action, it matters more than you guys give it credit for, because yes, maybe you do quote unquote miss out on some fibers, but let's be honest, muscles work together during different movements. And if you're just generally doing the same exact muscle actions, doing more of like pretty much the same muscle action but in slightly different angles is not like, is it really making that big of a difference?
Well, also one other thing that I just want to like add on is you can't max out like motor unit recruitment for everything. So you also have to remember like how many different things can you even get that like high threshold motor unit recruitment on?
Another good example, or I guess a way to say it, you can't get the first exercise, the first set on every single muscle, every single fiber. That's like virtually impossible.
Yeah, of course.
But
I mean, it is always a game. They see the thing. I think the major disconnect between Yo and Jackson sort of camp, if I could be a mediator, is that Yo is very much concerned is specifically about the very top end motor units, whereas Jackson is more willing to accept that, as long as you get up there pretty high, which you can definitely do alternating, that it's going to be fine. And I'm sort of there where I agree that you're going to be missing out, but also for most people, you can get away with a lot, to be honest.
So I want to also clarify my point, because I'm not I am in a sense concerned about it in a similar manner. It's just, I'm also more willing to understand that as the workout goes on, I don't really think we can quantify how many quote unquote effective sets we have. So
I just need to clarify this. You guys do realize as you exercise, high threshold motor units increase their glycolytic capacity, meaning they actually shift downwards on the motor unit recruitment quote unquote pool. So there's also that.
Yeah, there's more factors at play. That's why it's like theoreticals on if you only narrowly look at physiology from one perspective, you're gonna miss out a lot of just nuances to it. That's why it's sometimes a little, I don't know, pedantic arguing about missing out on tiny bits of gains.
Bro, what did
No, that's Trell. That's Trell laughing. I'm not making any noise.
I was wondering who's laughing, man. Giggling,
bro.
But I guess I used to think that motor units or the actual muscle fiber would become more not glycolytic. I thought that was true for a while. That's not true. It's actually the opposite. They become more glycolytic. They become more oxidative. Because your muscles adapt to being used better, they don't adapt to being used worse.
Yeah, because more glycolytic means they fatigue quicker. So even though it's
more
So that I understand, and that's I guess that's a pretty important factor, because eventually these fibers are going to be easier to recruit. But in a muscle with a large muscle, there's always going to be some fiber you're sort of reaching to get. There's always going to be a couple fibers that are you are reaching to get a few fibers. There's always more motor unit recruitment to be had. And obviously throughout time, if these fibers become more oxidative, they'll be easy to recruit, and you'll keep recruiting these fibers with less specific. You won't have to be doing single leg everything, right? Obviously, but there is always the next fiber to reach, and I think that's sort of the take that some people want to be chasing those fibers.
Yeah,
well, I understand that to an extent.
Bunch of noobs though. This isn't.
I'd say I understand that to an extent. But Mundy at that point, right? Most people.
Noobs. I don't even make those kind of arguments.
Yeah, I 100% agree that most people don't need to be thinking about it. I agree with that.
That's why it's that's where we have the disconnect of very hypotheticals versus actual science based, because you can talk about the hypotheticals of the motor unit pool that we're trying to climb, but at the end of the day, if you're focused on just basics, and as you get more advanced, start honing in on things that you care more about, those are the things you can start worrying about. You can start worrying about biasing upper pec every single session, because then that matters for you, right?
Yeah, I obviously agree with that. I don't think anybody within their first year needs to be doing the same joint action every time, same exercise. I don't believe that, obviously.
Also,
Keenan's over here doing everything.
Keenan's locked in, bro. Keenan's locked in.
Keenan's training forearms.
Oh my god!
It's pronation, bro. Oh no, it's extension.
Keenan's showing us how it's really done.
Bro, listen. I'm I don't even mean to be mean, but this is kind of I feel like we kind of went off track. This is kind of irrelevant to what my question was.
Okay, then ask your question again.
Then a physiology 101 course, but I just wanted to ask Mundy
boys
about I'm just asking Mundy, if you're doing a fly on one day, and you have more motor unit recruitment to the sternal pecs, and then you do a press on the other day, which is going to lead to less motor unit recruitment, would there be a difference there? That's all I'm asking,
bro.
No, boys, I can't record this.
Please, no tangent, please. I'm late to the gym, bro. I have to go to the gym, but I'm staying in this for I don't even know.
Of course, there could be a difference, but bro, these are noobs arguing this.
I'm not asking how much of a difference. I'm just saying if there is going.
If you're advanced, it makes a difference. There you go. If you're advanced, it makes a difference.
Noobs arguing this. That's why it's weird.
Here you go, yo. If you are advanced, it makes a difference. If you are not advanced, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
Let's go, baby. Case closed.
Case closed, bro. Case closed. I'll do a chest fly. It's not that deep.
Yeah, there you go. The end.
Look,
The end.
You guys see Keenan doing this. He is an advanced lifter. I mean, it makes sense, but most
Keenan's
of us,
been in here for 11 years. If,
most
like,
of us
most
have
of
been
them
Keenan's been
TikTok for like 2 to 3 years, bro.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years does not make you
Yeah,
advanced.
I'll
Yo.
let Keenan slide. He's been training for 14 years.
But low key, I'm actually going to continue training. So hopefully you guys have a great day. All right. Take it easy.
See you, Keenan. Locked.
Peace.
Keenan's locked.
Oh my gosh.
So like, so the argument comes back again to just you guys thinking that it's like making the claim that's just not going to be, you know, I guess a hair of a difference or a small difference.
Well,
That's
let me ask you this.
Same thing with the lats. Same thing that you said about the lats, right?
Whoa, wait. Now we're okay. Don't get off topic again because we're just on this conversation. If you're a noob,
I'm not
like,
getting off topic. I'm just saying it's like the same thing.
but if you're a noob, how good are you at even recruiting high threshold motor units?
Not great.
It's gonna be less. I mean,
How good are you?
wait. If you're gonna say that, then wouldn't doing something that wouldn't doing an exercise to get more motor unit recruitment be better? If you're gonna say that,
Yo.
Okay, but let me ask you this: how much more motor? How much more?
I'm just saying that. Anyways, but like I'm just saying
how much more? How much more motor unit?
No, I'm not saying how much more. I'm not. That's not
Wait.
my argument.
Well, you're
I
saying it's more. So then, if it's more, how much more is it? Because if it's significantly more,
I'm not saying how much. That's not like my. I'm just saying that's more.
So what are we arguing about?
so what are we arguing?
That's good. There's going to be a difference. That's what I'm arguing about. And that it's going to be. It's just a smarter way to.
Why are you? But if
It's
you get
easier.
into this mindset, you're being very black and white, and now everyone is going to be thinking that the difference. When you say there's a difference, people are going to naturally assume that there's a big difference, whether you mean to or not. I mean, half the people are like look at the comments of people. People are genuinely like going around thinking that their pecs are just going to atrophy away because they're doing a fly in a press.
I mean, those fibers are. But anyways,
Wait, hold up,
those
hold
fibers
up.
are. Yes, those fibers will.
Nobody's
But
arguing about the fibers. We're just talking about the pecs.
Bro, you're going to have
Everything's on a fiber level. We don't talk about.
Nobody's
nothing's
saying it's not on a fiber level. Now you're misconstruing the argument and straw manning. It's not what we're saying at all. Like you're changing the topic. We're not
What did
saying
I change?
fiber.
I just said that those fibers are.
Great. We're not arguing that. We're arguing about the
Yeah.
overall sternal
We're arguing
pec.
about strands of hair right now.
I'm talking
Alright,
about the sternal
that's
pec.
another
People are
claim
thinking
made,
the
bro.
entire
Saying that it's
sternal
gonna be
pec is going to
strands, dude.
atrophy, dude.
Wait, can I intervene with one thing? The whole Chris Beardsley atrophy graph was completely biased. I am looking through the data right now. It was completely cherry picked. Please do not say that the pecs are going to atrophy. That's going to send me.
Yeah,
Hell
like
no.
literally I was to say, like, it's okay. I'm not trying to be mean, but the actual atrophy data, there's a reason that it's getting
cherry-picked.
updated. Like, there's a reason it's getting updated. I'm just gonna say that.
All right, but like, what do you guys think? That's like what is like? I'm confused. Like, what you're talking about cherry
Okay,
pick. Like,
so when you include-
what do you guys think?
Some of the studies that were included were immobilization studies.
Somebody said,
Oh yeah, I've mentioned some of that.
What do you guys
and
disagree
yo,
about?
okay.
Like, what's wrong?
Okay,
with
let me ask you this. If you are including immobilization studies within your data set that is supposed to relay the rate of atrophy, don't you think that's going to have an impact on the rate of atrophy overall?
Listen, I'm just asking, what do you guys think that's wrong about it? I'm not like I'm saying like
you're not immobilized.
Here.
Okay, so if you are moving, there is already some movement with your muscles. In other words, moving around, doing this, all of what I'm doing right now, this is all helping my muscles not atrophy.
Wait. I'm not making a claim. I'm asking what you guys think. I'm asking.
That's what we're trying to explain, dude.
That's what
Hold
I'm
on,
trying to
wait.
explain. Let me explain.
All right.
So, if you're moving your muscles, it doesn't matter if there's tension involved. I'm moving my muscles right now.
Energetically being used.
This
Yeah.
is my pec moving, okay? My pec is moving. If it's moving, it's not atrophying at the same rate as it would if I just sat here like this, like dead weighted. And that's what they were using. They were using dead weighted people who were immobile, and they were using that atrophy data and basically applying it to people who are moving and doing daily tasks.
Here, do you want to know the actual numbers? Because we've ran them. Do you want to know the number difference?
It's just turning into a physiology. I'm asking.
No.
Like,
Do you want to know? Wait. Do you want to know the number difference? Do you want to know the number difference? Because I have the actual number.
I'm asking a question to you guys. I'm just asking what you guys think on something, bro.
I'm literally trying to give you the difference, dude.
Wait. All right, wait.
Oh my God.
So listen, I'm asking what about that? Like, is it?
I'm trying to explain it to you, bro. You
Wait.
refuse.
Shh. Wait. I'm asking what about it? Is it the rate of atrophy? Is it it being on a fiber level? I'm asking you guys. Like,
Okay. Would you like me to explain?
Yes, please.
Okay.
But not physiology course. Just
on a fiber level, yes, some high threshold motor units are going to atrophy, but we're not arguing that. Overall, what we're trying to explain to you is when you looked at the difference between the immobilization versus active people, it was like this. After 48 hours, the immobilization people were losing 2% cross-sectional area daily. You know how much the active people lost after the entire week? 0.3 percent, by the way, 0.3 to 0.7% cross-sectional area.
It's crazy because I remember that bro watched a YouTube where I said they was using the mobilization studies, and whatever he said about it, he just disagreed with me.
Yeah, so 10% versus 0.3%. Don't you think that's a big difference?
Also, can I just add on to that?
I'm sorry, but my question is not being addressed. Like, I don't know if you guys don't understand, but what I'm asking, I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm asking, so is it the rate? So you guys think that the rate of atrophy, that's what you disagree upon, right?
It's the actual rate. Yes, the percent rate of loss.
Wait, so what do you think? What do you think that Chris based the rate of atrophy on? What did he base?
Immobilization studies.
Yeah, bro. They literally said it.
All right. So in where? Like where did he say that he based it off of? Immobilization studies.
The studies.
These studies that are represented in the atrophy data, if you go look at some of the stuff that he's included, there are immobilization studies.
Bro.
Go look at his graphs. Go look at all of his data. You can go click and search his PMIDs for something. They're immobilization.
All right. So all right. Wait. Stop. Hold on. I need to find a way to articulate myself.
Can I just add on something here? You need to define your what you're saying. So non-significant, statistical significant, clinical significant differences are completely different.
Okay, I'm trying to also not be mean, but I'm also confused how we're still trying to explain immobilization studies were included. You can look.
No, I was just asking you guys what you disagreed upon with. Well,
that's what I was trying to explain.
And I guess it's the rate of atrophy, but
yes, it's significant. That's the problem. And then, by the way,
here's the thing:
atrophy is also not non-linear. So with people who are immobilized after the first week, it's even worse. So that's why there was that one study where after 10 days, over 50% of their gains were lost. And that's where the immobilization studies are coming in, and they're almost exacerbating how aggressive the atrophy is. If that makes sense.
Also, something to add on: if the individual is eating more or less protein, that also makes a really big difference. There was another study actually able to stimulate more growth of muscle, because if you are moving around and you're not immobile, you're more likely to retain muscle, even gain muscle.
400 grams of protein a day, y'all. 400 grams of protein a day.
Ask specifically how the rate of atrophy
400 grams a day. That's crazy.
Bro, dude, he's eating 400 grams of protein a day, bro.
Oh. Listen, look, yo. This is all I gotta say, bro. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. It's okay to be wrong, bro.
Where's TNF when we need him?
I mean,
it's okay to be wrong.
It's okay to be It's okay to be hypothetical, but you at least have to acknowledge that hypotheticals and what actually is occurring for in terms of statistical significance are differences.
Wait, hold up.
Oh
Sorry. Do not say EMG is not mechanistic data. It is mechanistic data.
Not you, yo. I'm just saying in general.
Before anybody says EMG data is not it is mechanistic data.
Okay.
I'm so sick and tired of people saying that it's not.
Dro, what have you done, bro? It's just a conversation.
United.
I just want to explain.
Well, we started cool.
I'm
okay, yeah.
We're cooling, bro.
One thing, I just want to explain one thing about immobilization. But first of all, I don't think Chris used it to, explain I think he just used it to show that atrophy happens fast. But the reason why he used immobilization studies is because it's the same concept. It's just a difference on how many muscle fibers that is being experienced.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Wait. Here's the problem with that line of reasoning. If you include immobilization studies into your graph that's supposed to predict the rate of loss of atrophy, don't you think that conflates the data?
Which graph?
The atrophy graph. The arbitrary units,
bro.
The arbitrary. You don't think that affects the loss of arbitrary units?
He did not use it.
Yes, he did. He had
the maintenance literature
studies combined in there.
He used the maintenance literature, though.
Stop
He used the maintenance literature
No,
because
he
maintenance is when hypertrophy equals atrophy, so that's how he extrapolated that. He didn't use the immobilization studies in that.
And how, wait, what are you talking about? Where do you think the atrophy comes from?
But what do you mean? Where do I think the?
Where do you think the? Where do you think his rate
I'm
of
saying
loss
that
of
he used the
atrophy comes
maintenance.
from?
I'm just saying in that graph he used the maintenance. But I don't know. I don't know how we got on this tangent about this. But anyways,
We got on. Wait, it's not a tangent. You're asked a question, we're answering it, and then
but I mean, yeah, but I don't know like how we came
because we're explaining how mobilization studies are going to impact.
All right, but I know, but Ella's the one that brought up how like atrophy, if you bring up like atrophy, this and that. But like, anyways, I'm just saying he used the maintenance literature to show how fast atrophy occurs because maintenance.
He used immobilization studies to demonstrate how atrophy occurs.
Yeah, he didn't just use one single study to back his entire model on. That makes no sense.
I'm just saying I know which graph I know which graph you're talking about. The weekly net stimulus.
You look great, Kanan.
I don't agree with using arbitrary units myself. But listen.
Look great, brother.
I'm saying that he used the maintenance literature to show how fast atrophy occurs because maintenance is when hypertrophy equals atrophy, and like he used
Brother,
bro, why are we talking about that? None of you are mobilized. That's the problem.
Pull it up, bro. Pull it up, dude. Like,
okay, let me ask you this. One other thing. When he pulled up the entire weekly net stimulus, do you think the only studies that were included in like making that graph were the ones listed on the infographic, or do you think that there were more? On the weekly net stimulus, because the only ones that are listed are not the only things that go into making his graphs. He also includes.
I know what.
Here you go. Wait. Here you go.
Listen, I'm
here. Tutorial right now. Banded cable tutorials.
Wait.
All right, Kilrow et al. 20. 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 All right, Kilrow et al. 20.
Bro,
a lot of his.
I don't know why. Why am I defending? Like, I'm just here defending Chris Beardsley's stuff. Anyways, but like, what's
you're not even reading those studies?
What?
Yo, Mundy, what do you know about intra workout, buddy?
Hey, Keenan.
For real, bro.
I got the Gatorade right here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Type stuff.
Yes, sir.
Gatorade powder's meta.
Gatorade powder is meta.
It's not that deep. Let's just go train. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna have me a little intra workout sub, bro.
It's gonna be already wearing off, bro.
What flavor do you like more?
What flavor do I like?
The strawberry kiwi or the
Oh,
watermelon?
well, both of them was sour. I had them send that back.
Okay.
Bro, someone owes me a wrist extension video.
Wrist extension?
Honestly.
What?
Dub.
Is that the new reverse curl setup?
Yeah, I think the new meta, bro.
I don't know. I think it's 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 I think it's
There's no
They're
beef.
just telling them about that Chris Beardsley's graphs were wrong.
I mean, I'm not.
it's not even. I just want to
I'm here
say.
defending Chris Beardsley's graphs, but
Man, I mean, you gotta read the studies to know if they were wrong or not, bro.
All right, for real.
Just remember, I'm not saying that he only used the mobilization. He used
bro.
all
Everything's
he just
everything was happening at once, dude.
Well,
I'm just saying, if you read the studies, you would know it was a mobilization.
Read up. All right, what, bro?
Okay, wait. Just to keep it peaceful, I'm just saying this. I'm not saying that all of them were mobilization. I'm saying that some of the data set that was included when he made his graph was a mobilization.
Which graph, bro? I don't know which graph.
Okay. So
like there were also like older adult studies used as well, so that's also a problem because older adults don't move as much.
Yeah.
So when we're like looking at how
I don't know which graphs you're talking about. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I have to be defending Chris's stuff anyway.
Okay, then.
Atrophy data
Well,
from
a lot of your points are coming from Chris Beardsley's.
I mean,
so that's why
my point is just if you're only recruiting a fiver or a one time a week, and it's not enough volume, then that's not going to grow.
It's gonna theoretically atrophy at a rate that I think like it's hard to fully say because we have one study that's.
I mean, is one set one time a week enough for growth?
No, we know that.
All right, then that's the only.
Nobody's doing one set.
Who's doing one set a week, and who's exactly doing one set a week for that? If we're training all the muscle actions, the major actions, right? Then aren't we training that muscle?
I mean, probably not the
high threshold. I'm not saying high threshold motor units. I'm saying, are we training that muscle as a whole? Because yes, hypertrophy is fiber specific, but
who cares about whole muscles when everything's happening on a fiber level, bro?
What do you mean? Who cares? Okay, if that's the case, then we should only ever do single joint unilateral everything.
Bro,
because like literally we're missing out on motor units. Because if it's fiber specific,
I'm just saying that everything is happening on a whole. I'm just saying everything is happening on a muscle fiber level.
Okay. Then let me ask you this. Do you think you can maximally recruit every single high threshold motor unit within a workout? Because if that's the case, that's what the goal should be.
No, obviously not.
And we can't do that. So just like, why are we hyper?
My bad. I missed you. What did you say?
So I think, holy bro, I think the most important thing about the atrophy data is that you're saying that it still starts relatively quickly, but it's just slower than previously.
The actual loss, the actual process area.
That makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, having 3 sets once a week, maintain, and then if atrophy is really that fast, then you'd assume that like you'd be able to grow muscle at such an insane rate that you obviously can't. So atrophy has to be relatively slow because growth is slow.
It's also just diminishing returns.
Something to mention is the actual adaptation that we're talking about is adding more satellite cells to a specific muscle cell. So that's like the real adaptation here. That's why muscle memory exists. That's also why we actually retain the ability to have larger muscles over a period of time. Muscle tissue is so dynamic. It is always going down. It is always going up. You're never going to know the exact amount of actual proteins in your muscle cells. That's like virtually impossible to quantify. Yeah. That being said, what we can quantify is, let's say, the amount of myonuclei within a muscle cell. We know that individuals who are more trained have higher myonuclei. We also know that these myonuclei stay around for literal months. So it's something even in detraining. So it's not necessarily only about how much muscle proteins you have in a given point. It's also just about the actual adaptation you're making. Because the more satellite cells you have, the more likely you're going to retain more muscle proteins over a given period of time.
Remember, guys, I taught her that.
I think the main takeaway, guys, is just not worrying about being so optimal. You know what I'm saying?
The heck is this?
That's all I got.
Bro,
you don't got to worry about being so optimal.
Is that all? We're good?
That's all I got.
We're good now? I don't have any more energy. I need more caffeine. So,
do the moderators have anything?
Just run upper, lower, or full body at this point.
Yep.
No matter.
Pretty much. I think we all agree on full body and upper, lower.
Yeah. One thing I will say, run what fits your schedule and you like. Because if you do something just because, if you hate upper, lower, like with a passion, you're doing it because you think it's like better, then go run full body if it feels better. Like,
dude, I hate full body. I prefer upper, lower.
Don't.
Nah, yeah, I just I'm trying out upper, lower, full body because I got bored of full body every other day.
Full body every 36 hours.
Oh my god,
that's a new debate, bro. I don't think you can do that, bro.
Dude, that's not how it works.
2 days in a row is not the move. Like, I swear to God, you need that extra sleep, bro.
I got this for $4.
Well, maybe I don't have a job. I don't have any kind of connection to society. I'm just sleeping when I'm not working out.
Look, at the end of the day, the only thing we all know is that a bro split is trash. That's it. That's all I'll say. I'm sorry. Bro split's trash.
Yo.
This is gonna fit me, bro.
Yo, bro.
What is that, a large?
Nah, it's a medium.
Oh, makes sense.
Jesus Christ. Who is that? Mundy.
It's okay, Dro. It's okay, Dro.
Dude, he's always blaming me, bro.
Makes sense.
My fault.
Yo.
Like, I was in his live. He's like, you don't even need a gym pin.
No.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I need a gym pin for something. I'm not that weak, bro. Weak.
Yo.
No, I'm proud. I'm happy seeing all y'all with gym pins, bro. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think y'all are learning. I think we're
Just
on the
don't
right
abuse them.
track. Instead of worrying about which fibers we're hitting, I think y'all should just keep progressing, bro.
Bro, victim
Thank
league. I got
you.
this so would be true to size, bro. That's what the song told me to do.
JP take.
Let's see
Just
it,
get
bro.
stronger. Just get stronger.
I was literally.
Don't tell us how. Just get stronger.
Oversized medium.
Has there been like a larger conversation with y'all about that Jordan Peters post from a few days ago?
Bro, what happened about Jordan Peters?
Oh, he
Did you see-
basically
did you
called
see-
those
did you
science
see, like-
flippers.
He like
Except fatigue is
his
a
first
joke.
physique update in a while, and then he had this like long caption written about.
That's not a physique update. That's an old picture,
Like,
bro.
That's old, yeah, yeah.
basically
That's an
about
old picture.
all
That's
these
super
like
old.
hyper nuanced details when it comes to training and stuff like that, and that they should just be worrying about getting stronger. Like kind of like that whole "you are the weak point" type of thing, where
Yeah.
people are
I
3
hate
months
that.
into training are
I
trying
hate
to,
all that.
you know,
Total weak
train
point.
shoulder adduction versus shoulder flexion and stuff like that. Shoulder
You
extension.
little kids are worrying about
Like-
resistance profiles, and you've not even been training in the gym for over a year. You are weak point.
I think you just have to remember it's a balance. You can't. I think he might have he's probably just very frustrated, but like,
Yo is not making it to the gym today.
bro.
Have to go. I was
Say
supposed.
something?
I joined this live originally just to talk to you guys a little bit. I didn't expect it to turn into this, but I was supposed to go to the gym like 110, dude. And it's like
Don't lock in,
now.
bro. Lock in.
Go lock in, bro.
Just lock in, bro.
I'm-
Congrats, bro.
I think I have. I don't know. All right, I gotta go, guys.
Peace out, bro.
All right, have a good workout, dude.
Man, like Batman. Just get your prep time in, man.
Yo, was crying. He's not even crying. It's literally just a normal conversation. He was just raging a little bit.
No, he was mad, bro.
Yeah, he's raging. He's raging.
He was pissed.
Look, it's
He's a little
okay.
mad.
It's okay. Sometimes,
It's okay,
like,
though.
and I've been there. Sometimes you're like so in depth on something where you think you're right, and you don't want to be wrong at all.
You should tell him about
I just want him to
Bro,
know.
I was pro bias lat for so long.
I had to convince him.
Yeah, I was pro bias it. So
Can I ask Ella? So the reason you're saying it's different is just because like the lower lat inserts on the upper lat, and because that's like the only muscle that does so, and the EMG data is showing that like there is no significant difference. That you're basically saying that this muscle is different, and you can't assume it acts like other ones. Is that sort of the point?
So it's a combination of a few different things. One is the reason that the lower lat does attach onto the upper lat. So by extension, whenever you're doing like the main actions of the latissimus dorsi, the lower lat is always going to be slightly less quote unquote active than the upper lat just by the nature of the actual structure of the lat. The second reason is because 2/3 of the population, their lats don't even directly attach to the scapula, so they don't have a direct action on the scapula, which makes it even more of a convincing argument that like the medial lat that is inserted on closer to the spine, or I guess I should say originated closer to the spine, will even have less leverage on the actual scapula movement. The next reason is because the lower lat and the actual secondary functions of it with like lateral bending in terms of like abdominal lateral bending,
Yeah.
it's more so an external oblique movement. So that's like arguing that the little teres major is going to overpower the upper
Oh, I never.
portion.
no, I'm not saying you
I
are.
wasn't
No,
talking
we're not
about
saying
that.
you,
Yeah.
but that's like another reason why. And then I guess finally, yes, the EMG data, and I combined both isokinetics. So there was one 2014 isokinetic study, and I combined that with 4 other isometric studies on the latissimus dorsi, and all of them suggest the same exact thing, that the latissimus dorsi doesn't have a significant difference between upper and lower lat activation between exercises, and that's the biggest thing. Is like you need a difference between exercises to show that it can be biased, and it isn't there.
Also,
Yeah.
one really quick thing. I don't want to dismiss the Dxklan study, but you also have to remember this is something that not many people talk about. There was only 8 cadavers in that one paper. Only 8. 8 is a very small sample size, right? So and on top of that, there's also other limitations to that lat study looking at leverages. So I don't think using that as your only piece. I'm not saying you are, but some people are using that as their only piece of evidence. And that's where it's like, that's not how you interpret science. You can't just use
About
one
Yo
single
behind his
paper.
back, you guys are actually fake. He was raging on live and you all watched it. Like,
What's up? Wait, who?
no, somebody said that quit talking about Yo behind his back. Like,
We're not talking about Yo. I don't have any problems with him, dude. I like genuinely do not have a problem with him.
Yeah, I just want him.
I'm allowed to disagree with him.
Like,
Okay, so about the lats, like I think that makes complete sense. Like the lower lat being inserted on the upper lat is, you can't assume it's not attached directly to a muscle, so it obviously isn't going to function like one. But my point is that in a sagittal plane row, if we at least take some credence to the leverage, the lower lat is not, like in a sagittal row, the body will prefer to use as much of the upper lat as possible. Versus in a adduction, assuming that the leverages are at least reasonably correct, it will preferentially use as much of the lower lat as possible, which may not be a lot more than in a sagittal row, just because of the lack of ability to produce force without an active upper lat. So I agree, but I don't think you can disprove. I'm not saying that you're saying you disproved it. I'm not saying that. I agree that the data is definitely, you can't say that there's 100% a significant difference in activation, but I also don't agree that you can just sort of say that it 100% doesn't exist.
So there's two problems with that, I guess, line of logic. Is one, statistical significance really matters when it comes to EMG data, activation data, and also in terms of like what actually matters for training. We don't really take statistically significant data and like apply it to training completely, because statistical significance isn't even enough for some people, specifically advanced lifters who barely even see that much growth in general. You would want to take clinical significance, and that is going to really show an actual difference in your training. Now, on top of that, how exactly is the upper lat being more biased than the lower lat if they're both attached? That's the biggest question there.
Well, I also just want to say this. Leverages just predict which gets recruited first.
But you can't recruit one before the other if they're both attached.
I was going to say, because like if we just say like what has better leverage, then technically everything's Terry's major and rear delts, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand that, but
that's where it comes down to. It's like leverages are just predictors. If you are believing neuromechanical matching is a valid principle, which I'm inclined to believe so. I'm not saying it is for sure. Definitely, well, but I'm saying I'm inclined. But it just predicts recruitment like patterns. It doesn't predict what's going to grow the most. That's like you have to have a mix of leverages and EMG to kind of back your point, and also outcome data.
Well,
yeah, that's
data. I don't know.
That's great.
That's what you have to have everything to fully, and that's why maybe I'll change my stance to this. I am inclined to believe you can't bias the lats. I'll say that. I'm inclined to believe you can't bias the lats. I won't say definitively, but I'll say I'm inclined.
Because I'm the same way. I'm inclined to believe you can, but I also am not going to sit here and say that there is going to be a significant difference. And I'm definitely not going to say that because like the EMG data is, I'm not super familiar with it in the sample sizes, but I'm going to assume that it's pretty like robust. So there's